Hey everybody, me and Axel wanted to do a follow-up video to our Kids Active Protection and Self-Defense seminar that we put on a couple of weeks ago. So one of the things that we mentioned in that seminar is that the techniques don't do much good unless we practice them consistently for that muscle memory. And so we asked the parents to take some notes so they could work on them with their kids before school starts. With school starting right around the corner, we thought we would do a little video overview of some of the techniques that we did, some of the concepts that we worked on, and send that to you guys so you could have something to help you out working with the kids at home, or if you didn't make the active safety seminar, then something you can work on to help on maybe a little bit with their confidence and things at home. So one of the main keys we talked about when it comes to self-defense, excuse me, in relation to strangers is awareness. And we use the term focus to talk about awareness. So for the young kids, what does focus mean, Axel?
Pay attention.
Pay attention. So paying attention to what's around you. When we got to talking about more the bullying side of things, we talked about using compassion. Do you remember what compassion means?
Yes, ma'am.
What's it mean?
Caring for
others and showing your care for others. But we thought we'd go through a couple of the techniques that we went through in the seminar. So we'll start with some of the stranger stuff. So let's back up just a little bit. Okay? So one of the first ones we did, and for the young kids, it's easiest to do with two hands at first. We call I don't know. So just whip their hands out to I don't know, and using the loud, scary, and intimidating voice with their hands up, palms open, not fight, but stop. Ready?
Get back!
Good. So now when they get the idea of that, the whole principle is to go to the thumb. The whole principle is to roll the wrist to the thumb. So if I do one hand, it's the same thing.
Get back!
Good. Then you can make it a little bit harder by adding in a pull. So now if I'm pulling him, he's got to do what he just did. He's got to step towards me to do it, okay? So that was the first thing we worked on, very, very basic. With the older kids, we worked on another grab. Go ahead and grab me, Axel. We worked on turning to the thumb to grab their hand, and then squeezing and turning the wrist and pull down. I got you, bud. All right? So for the older kids, that was one of the things we worked on. So then we'll move on. So the next thing we worked on was the windmill. It's also a wrist grab, but more common in stranger abductions, where someone walk up in a crowd, grab the wrist, and start walking. Hang on, Axel. So we're grab the wrist backwards. Same principle applies. You're going to the thumb. So what he's going to do is he's going to do what we call the windmill. He's going to whip his hand behind my back and up and over to break the grip to my thumb. Okay? So that was the windmill. Those are the first two techniques we covered. Then we covered one called, can't remember. Oh, no. Yeah, it was the up and over. So now same kind of principle using the thumbs for a grab from here. Okay? All he's going to do is raise his hands up in the middle, bring them out, and drop his elbows on my arms. Down. Good. To break the grip from my thumb. Now, I wouldn't recommend putting the hands out, just dropping the elbows down. That's one that he's still working on. Okay? So, those were some of the things we did with stranger. We also did what we call rock and roll. Rock and roll is basically an easy way to set up the idea of being squirmy, right? And not just giving things up. So whether I pick him up and try to carry him off, or whether I grab him and try to drag him, he's basically going to be doing a bunch of rolls, like an alligator roll, to try to get out of it. So come on over here on the mat, Axel. So he's down on the ground. I'm going to go pulling him by the legs. He's just going to keep rolling until he breaks my grip. Jump up fast, big voice. Right. Now the same thing applies if I just pick him up, try to carry him away. He's going to get squirmy. He's going to start rolling. He's going to be throwing his elbows. He's going to be throwing his legs behind him, his knees, whatever. Are you ready, sir? Okay. Don't let me get you late. Come on. Fight. There you go. Pop up. Good. So the goal being squirmy. And when it comes to abductions and stranger defense and awareness, it's important to not be an easy target. I mean, that's kind of the key. So we talked about different ways to walk confidently, up, chest out. We talked about paying attention. For the older ones, we talked about having your back to the wall when you're on the cell phone, holding it up higher. Now, for some of the bully side of things, we started off working on a push. Now, one of the drills that we do in our young kids classes is called Don't Push Me Around. And it's the deal of it is to push them and get them to only take one step so they're not giving ground. Just putting one leg back and putting their hands up, just saying, don't push me. Very loud, commanding voice. So turn around.
I'm supposed to...
No, we're pushing you, all ready? So you're going to take one step backwards, hands up, say, don't push me. Ready?
Don't push me.
One step. Come on, let's try to get to one step. Ready? Do it again. Yell. All right, well, he's turning this into a game now. That's kind of the idea. And then the other one we did on the push is to bring the arms. Now, it's easier for a lot of kids to do it with 2 arms. Call this another version, a windshield wiper. But you can also do it with 1. But the idea is if I go to push him, he's going to take both his arms and he's going to come up and around and step beside me. This is what we did for the younger kids. Up and around and step beside me. Now for the older kids, I'll let him show this because I think he knows this one. For the older kids, we had him take this a step farther and bring this hand around the neck, latching to the other bicep like this. Grab your bicep, boom, and coming back around, okay? And then pulling backwards to pull me down. Okay, that's enough, that's enough. You don't have to hurt me here, bud. All right? So that was another one we had covered. Then we covered some shirt grabs. A 2-hand shirt grab, for example, an easy one is called the wave. So they bring their hands straight up, down as hard as they can through the middle, turning their body sideways, up as high as they can on the other side, clap, no fingers like this or like this, and just push and turn over. So show me the wave, bud. One hand up, down through, up, push, and get back!
Get back!
Good. All right, so that would be the wave. That was one of them we covered as well. Then we also went to a 1-hand, and I believe there's lots of things we can do for the 1-hand. I can't remember if we did the elephant trunk or if we did duck goose. The elephant trunk. I think the elephant trunk's the one we did at the kids' safety. So from grabbing that 1 hand and I'm right here, he can do it with either arm, but we were working the opposite side, which would be this arm. Coming and slamming the elbow down here, wrapping it under, and lifting my elbow up. Coming on down there.
Back.
Good. Another one, slightly easier, we usually work on, is called duck goose, okay? So that one works as I grab here. This also works off a punch pretty well if they get quicker. They can duck the head under, no, too low. Just a little under, leave the other hand out and step behind me. So he got this hand here, and now he's latched on to where I don't have much room with this elbow. From here he can squeeze and pull backwards, or he can step through and do a stomp sweep, which I don't really recommend unless you're doing really consistent training, because those stomp sweeps, a lot of people assume you just bring your leg through, and that's not the case. You're actually stomping your foot to the ground and using the back of your knee against the back of theirs. So those are just a few of the techniques we worked on in the kids' safety. A couple of things you can work on at home to be able, with your kids, to be able to maybe help them feel a little bit more confident with school starting if they have any kind of bully issues and things like that. And of course, this is just, not even the tip of the iceberg. So, if it's, but these techniques only do you so much good unless you're training on them consistently. So, if you are interested in any of our kids or even our adult martial arts classes, I'm going to throw a link in along with this video, and you can opt in on that website, talk directly to me or my wife, Brittany. Hi, say hi.
Hi.
So I know our website looks very corporatized, right? We have a company that makes it for us. But if you put in your information there, it comes straight to us. It goes to nobody else, and it will be one of us that contacts you directly, okay? We also, if you're interested in doing a more intensive version of this for adults, we also have our Women's Active Protection Seminar coming up in September 9th. September 9th. It's another free event. All of our events are free. So we have the September 9th Women's Active Protection coming up. You can register for as well, and I'll include a link in this video to that as well. So hopefully you guys have been practicing some of the techniques and skills that we worked on in our kids' active safety. If not, I just wanted to send this out as a follow-up, so as a quick reminder for things that you can go over with school starting. I know things are pretty tough. Also, we have a back-to-school special right now where anyone who signs up before school starts will get 20% off every month till Christmas. That's pretty cool, right? That's 20% off up to 5 months. So, see you guys later.
Bye.
And live with the discipline of a warrior to be the best version of you that you can be.